Shalom, I'm Rabbi Craig Scheff of the Orangetown Jewish Center, and with me here today is my friend Michael Pucci, who is also an executive board member of our synagogue. Michael Pucci is going to model today the ritual of putting on tefillin. We are recording this for your benefit so that you can have this ritual at home. You can watch this in an instructive fashion to teach you how to put on tefillin on a daily basis. We wear tefillin every day of the week, whether at home or at synagogue, not on Shabbat and not on holidays. And hopefully this video will assist you in the ritual, in making it easier, in learning the blessings, and in just getting comfortable with a ritual that's really important to us. We wear tefillin to tie to our arms and between our eyes the commandment that God has given us to remember the mitzvot each and every day. And much as we put on a mezuzah on the doorpost of our home, so too we are in a sense putting a mezuzah on our bodies to remind us that everywhere we go, we are supposed to carry God's mitzvot with us. When we start with this ritual, you can find the blessings in a daily siddur. In Siddur Sim Shalom, the blessing for a talit, which is put on first, is found on page 2. And then after the blessing for the talit, the blessings for the tefillin are on page 3. So we're going to start with the putting on of a talit.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahitatef betzitzis.
Amen. If we wear a watch on our weaker arm, not on our dominant arm, we take off the watch for the ceremony of the tefillin. If we wear jewelry throughout the night, if we sleep with the jewelry on, we don't have to take it off for the purpose of putting on tefillin. So when we use tefillin, we always use the arm piece first, the shel yad, followed by the shel rosh, the headpiece, and then we do the ritual of wrapping the tzitzit, the tefillin on our hand. Always starting with taking out the shel yad from the tefillin bag first. So it's customary to try to keep the tefillin on the same side of the bag so that when we reach for the tefillin, we're always taking out the right one in the proper order. What we want to do is we want to unravel the strap of the tefillin so that there are no knots in it. Take the tefillin out of the box, and it's customary to kiss the bayit, the top of the headpiece. So we open it, we take this out. Put this aside. Now it's important to note that traditionally tefillin are put on while we are standing. If we're unable to stand for an extended length of time for some reason, it's certainly appropriate to do it sitting as well. In fact, there are some customs, some traditions where we do sit instead of stand. The other piece about this ritual is that once we begin it with the blessing, we don't speak anymore. This is an act where all of our kavanah, all of our intention is given to the act itself, and so we refrain from speaking. That's in part why I'm having Michael do this today so that I can do the talking while Michael fulfills the mitzvah. You'll see that the yad, the shel yad, has an adjustable strap with a little knot next to the box, which should sit right next to the box, right next to the bayit, pulled tight. And we always lead up our arm with the loop. So the loop goes up first with the bayit hanging below it. It should point inward toward our body, about halfway between the shoulder and the elbow, in the middle of the bicep, and then you can pull this a little bit tighter. Now, we want to make sure that this is tight, and we want to keep tension all the time as we do this, because once we lose the tension in the strap, it'll loosen and will most likely fall off while we're davening. I will often give an additional wrap around the bicep just to keep it in place. Just like this. And now, bend the crook of your arm, bend the elbow, so that we can use the strap like this, going around the forearm 7 times, but keeping this taut at all times. This is the point, hold on to this please, Michael. This is the point where we're going to say the first of the blessings, of the 2 blessings that we'll say today.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu
lehaniach
lehaniach
tefillin.
tefillin.
And now we're going to wrap 7 times between the elbow and the wrist, trying to keep a little bit of space in between each, but making sure that it's tight enough so that it's sitting on the arm and won't slide down. My good friend and colleague Rabbi Drill often talks about having a kavanah, an intention for each of the straps. While they may represent the 7 days of the week, they might also represent different people in our lives, different things that we want to remember on a daily basis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Once you've done so, now just wrap the excess around your hand this way, and just wrap it up so we can use your hand again to put on the headpiece. When you get to the end, just tuck it in a little bit underneath. Wonderful, just like that. Okay, you can relax. So as we can see, the box is pointed in toward the body. There are 7 straps between the elbow and the wrist. And now we're going to reach into the bag to take out the shell roche, the headpiece. And in the same fashion, we're going to make sure that we unravel it, make sure that there are no knots in the straps, take the box off, remove the bayit from its cover, give it a kiss, and then we'll be ready to proceed with placing the tefillin on the head. Wonderful. Now you see that there's a knot here on the back, and this knot is going to rest at the base of the skull. And this part of the strap, the head, the front of the headpiece, is going to rest on our hairline, or perhaps what used to be a hairline. But that's the estimate where we want the headpiece to rest. So you can go ahead and put that on. Now as soon as we get to that spot where we rest that headpiece on the hairline, we then say the second blessing of the tefillin.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu
Al mitzvat
mitzvat
tefillin.
tefillin.
And then we say the words, we add the words Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Great. And we want to make sure that the tefillin is positioned so that it's exactly in line with the middle of your forehead, in line with your nose. Reach back and take the 2 straps and separate them so that one comes down on each side. Exactly. Very good. And you can feel that the knot is at the base of your skull, and then that's sitting on your hairline, and you're all set to go with the next piece of completing the task of putting on the tefillin. We are now up to what is probably the most difficult part of putting on tefillin, and that is how we wrap the strap around our hand. It's important to note that there are many different traditions of how this is actually done. I learned one way, there are Sephardic ways, there are ways from all different parts of the world, so you might see people wearing this differently according to their tradition. The main thrust of this ritual is to create the word Shaddai, Shin Daled Yud, on our hand. You might note that that's also the word that appears on a mezuzah, on the doorpost of our home. It is one of God's names. So undo the strap. And from that point where it meets your thumb and your forefinger, and your index finger, bring it underneath your hand to the middle finger. Wrap it 3 times around the middle finger. Great. Now you might note here, let's just show the top of your hand, that we have it twice around the lower part of the finger and once around the top of the finger. From here, we bring it in between the pinky and the ring finger and create one more loop to create the leg of the letter Daled. Wonderful. Come back to that same spot. And now turn your hand over so we can see how you're creating the shin. Go ahead. There's the 2 legs of the shin, and finally the middle branch of the shin. And now underneath, we tuck it in, whatever extra we have. Your tefillin are a little bit shorter than some. Some you might have to continue to wrap the extra around the middle branch of the shin and then tuck it in, but that's perfectly acceptable. And now you can see that here's the shin and a daled and a yud to create the word Shaddai, one of God's names. Once we've completed it, we then say these words that are at the bottom of page 3, the conclusion of the ritual, Ve'erastich
Ve'erastich
li
li
le'olam.
li le'olam.
Ve'erastich
Ve'erastich
li
li
betzedek
betzedek
uvemishpat
uvemishpat
uvechesed
uvechesed
uverachamim.
uverachamim.
Ve'erastich
Ve'erastich
li
li
be'emunah
be'emunah
v'yada'at
v'yada'at
et Adonai.
I am Adonai.
The word ve'erastich means I betroth you. Li to me. We're betrothing God. This is our engagement ring. This is the way in which we bind ourselves to God on a daily basis. I betroth you to me forever. I betroth you to me with righteousness and justice, with love and compassion. I betroth you to me with faithfulness, and you shall be at one with Adonai, with our God. It's important to note that during our prayer service, there are moments where we actually refer to the Tefillin. So for example, in the words of the Shema, when we say that we tie these words upon our arms and between our eyes, we touch the box and we kiss. We touch the box and we kiss in order to recognize, to acknowledge the fact that we are fulfilling this mitzvah and that these words are literally on our bodies to fulfill the mitzvah each and every day. At the end of our tefillah, when the final mourner's kaddish has been said, it's customary once again to stand up to remove our tefillin. If we're not comfortable standing, it can be done sitting as well. We do everything in the exact opposite order. So we're going to undo the hand, wrap it up so that we can make use of the hand, take off the head, wrap up the headpiece, put it away, and then take off the arm piece and put it away. There are no words that are said. There are no prayers that are recited when we take the tefillin off. So why don't you undo the hand, Michael? Just wrap it up there so you can use your hand. Tuck in the extra. Reach back now for your shalrosh. Remove it. There you go. An often occurrence. And now we put the housing back on. Now a trick in wrapping up the tefillin. I like to show that, especially with the headpiece, what we do is we take the knot and we bring it up to the bottom of the bayit, to the bottom of the case. So we have ears like that. We wrap one set of ears under this way and one set of ears under this way, and then just cleanly wrap one side around here and wrap the other side around here. And it neatly goes back into the bag just like that for the next time that we're going to use it. Now we take off our yad piece. You might experience a few railroad tracks left on your arm. That's the sign that you've worn tefillin today, and I like to refer to it throughout the morning to remember the fact that I fulfilled the mitzvah. Here you go. Put it into the headpiece first so it'll close more easily. Now, shut it. Good. Pull the strap tight. And what you want to do is you want to wrap it on the side that it's on first to get it started. Always tension, keeping a little bit of tension to go around one side. And when you run out of room, you can move to the other side. I want to thank Michael very much for fulfilling this mitzvah today with me, for giving us the opportunity to teach everybody through this recording, to our friend Javier Rosenzweig and the Men's Club who helped produce this video. We thank you all very much, and we hope that you have many opportunities to fulfill this mitzvah in health and in happiness. Thank you, everybody.